So coming from an Asian family, we have this culture that we must work very, very hard in order to achieve success. And I remember my father, who was a very small businessman, he ran a gemstone business, worked 7 days a week until the day he died. And he worked very, very hard. And I know that my father never felt that he made the money that he desired because he played the lottery every week. And then sometimes he would play like $40 a week. I mean, he spent a lot of money on playing the lottery. And, you know, he still worked 7 days a week. He worked very, very hard. He took lots of action, but he didn't receive or he didn't gain the success that he desired. And so what I realized over the years, we could take lots of actions. You know, there are times when I've taken lots of actions, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this, where you take a lot of action and things don't pan out the way you desire, you know. And so what I realized over the years is that it's not so much about taking lots of action, and I believe that action is very necessary to the process of manifestation, to the process of creation. I mean, we must take action, but I realize it's not so much about taking action, but it's really about taking inspired action that creates the manifestations that we desire in our lives. So my definition of inspired action is when we take action based on an inspirational idea. And so how do these inspirational ideas come? You know, sometimes when you feel like you've got this light bulb that just went off in your head like ding, you feel really excited about the idea and you want to take action. You feel like something just opened up, like a floodgate just opened up and this light just came in, and all of a sudden you have this absolute clarity. Well, that's when you're getting these inspirational ideas. And how do these inspirational ideas come? Where do they really come from? And they really come from a higher consciousness space. This realm. You know, I've shown you this chart many times before. This physical realm in which we live, this physical realm, our bodies, our senses, the hearing, smelling, touching, is from this space. But this physical manifestation space really comes from our higher space, our higher consciousness space. This is where our soul is. This is where our spirit guide is. This is the space that has infinite intelligence, infinite wisdom. So when you connect to this space by raising your vibrational frequency, by raising that energetic vibrational frequency within you, you are now connected to this space. And when you connect to this space, you can download that inspirational idea. You can download that idea and then take the appropriate action. Now, if you're downloading this infinite intelligence message and taking the appropriate action to support it, you won't have to take tons of actions. You may take 3 actions versus 50 actions, right? Because if you have this inspirational idea, this powerful idea, and you take the right action, it'll only be maybe 3 actions. It'll be less action and more time for enjoyment. I mean, really, the reason why we take so much action is because we're really not getting information from that higher consciousness space. So we're just like trying to throw things and hopefully it'll stick to the wall. That's what taking a lot of action is, just throw things. Let's see what sticks. And then you have to not only take lots of actions, but you have to take more resources. You have to use more resources, right? Instead of spending, you know, $200,000, you may have to spend $1 million. So it's really about downloading that inspirational idea from that higher consciousness space to then support your action. And so if you look at like great artists like Van Gogh or Leonardo da Vinci, great writers like Rumi, or great scientists like Einstein, or even great entrepreneur like Steve Jobs, or a great talk show host like Oprah. Oprah always said that she always was guided by that higher space. She was guided by the universe, and she made decisions based on how the universe was guiding her. So if you look at all those inspirational leaders, they are great at what they do. They produce amazing products, amazing artwork, because they're downloading information from their higher consciousness space. They are connecting to that space. And what's beautiful about this is that this connection with your higher consciousness is not exclusive to those people. Every single one of us can connect to our soul, can connect to a higher space, can connect to that higher consciousness. Every single one of us, if we can quiet our minds, through meditation, we can connect to that space. It is a very powerful space. So once you start downloading information from that space, you are now going to take powerful action. So rather than taking 50 steps, you might take only 3 or 5 steps. And also you would be saving a lot of money. Instead of spending, $1 million on your business, you may only have to spend $200,000 on your business. I mean, having that information becomes really powerful because you have to make decisions and then take actions. And so how do you make the right decisions and take the right action so you don't waste a lot of time, you don't waste a lot of money? It's when you get information from that higher space. So it's really not about taking lots of action, but it's about taking inspired action. So for me, the best way to really get that inspirational idea from my higher consciousness, my higher self, is through meditation. And it was through meditation that I received these messages from my late sister Sun and from my spirit guides to create the Yin and Yang Living blog to promote these higher messages. And it was also through my meditation that I had the vision for the Yin and Yang Living line of prayer beads. My prayer beads, which are based on my logo, the crescent moon and the round sun, representing me and my late sister Sun. And in Chinese, the yin represents the moon and the yang represents the sun. So I always say my sister Sun and I are the yin and yang. So my Yin and Yang Living blog, my Yin and Yang Living prayer beads, also even my Yin and Yang Living t-shirts to promote these higher messages all come from that higher space. And it's through my meditation. So when we quiet our minds, that's when we can really download that inspirational idea and then take the powerful inspired action. So next time you want to take a lot of action, just stop. Stop and see if you feel like it's from an inspired space. It has to feel like it's from that higher space, and you know it. You know when something feels right and something feels wrong. And if something feels wrong, just wait until you feel confident that it's coming from a higher space. So think about it. And if you have a story where you took action based on an inspirational idea that you really felt came from that higher space, share your story, because your feedback and comments really help me and my community at large. And if you like this video, please make sure to share it and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to visit all of my spiritual and holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. 고맙습니다.